This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
It is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. We are tracking storms which could last into the overnight hours. So let's get right over to Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounds for what we can expect as we head into Monday.
And Nicole, we do still have some thunderstorms out there, but some good news. The watch that was in effect for the western portion of the state has been canceled and we don't have any warnings out there. In fact, I think our severe weather threat going forward is very low here. Still could have some gusty winds out of a few of these storms and some heavy rainfall. You can see all this is lifting pretty quickly to the northeast through Nashville into Greenwood, some of the leading edge of that, also extending into Anderson. Some moderate rain with a little bit of thunder around the Indianapolis area, and you're just starting to get in on some of that moderate rain around Marion. The rain will continue as we go through the overnight, and in fact, it will last into tomorrow morning, so you're going to need that umbrella. Some areas could see over an inch of rainfall. Those temperatures starting off our Monday in the lower 60s.
Kyle, thank you. Now to our continuing coverage of the coronavirus and its impact on Indiana. The Indiana death toll has now topped 1,600. The number of confirmed cases in our state, more than 27,000. More than 177,000 Hoosiers have been tested so far. And tonight, Hoosiers who think they may have COVID-19 or have recovered and may have antibodies now have another option for testing. Indiana Immediate Care, a private urgent care chain with 4 Indianapolis locations, is now doing COVID-19 testing. You don't have to be a patient. You just need to call when you arrive and they will screen you over the phone. After that, they will do a curbside nasal swab. We talked to the director of operations who says the reason they started testing is because they are part of a federal program that allows them to conduct tests at no cost to the patient.
We felt that was tremendously valuable to the Hoosiers here in Indiana. And also just a lack of testing availability. Like, why not? Let's jump in the game and start helping Indiana get back on track. Let's start helping get our economy back open.
They are also doing antibody testing for patients who have recovered from the virus, which is done inside the facility. Hoosiers are stepping up every day to help one another get through these challenging times. Here at RTV6, we are shining the light on that effort and want to show how people are working together. Keter North America is shifting production at 2 of its facilities. One is in Canada, the other is in Anderson, Indiana. The company is making reusable face shields and donating them to hospitals, frontline emergency workers, and long-term care facilities. They typically make plastic products like outdoor sheds or toolboxes. The shift to make PPE is part of the global effort to address the urgent need.
We've been getting a lot of pictures of people using the face shields and sending us back thank you notes. And I think one of the things that's very heartwarming for us is we've reached out to a number of these facilities and we've offered them up hundreds of face shields. And we've had a number of the facilities say, you know, we only need 32. And, you know, I was kind of a little perplexed and I said, well, you know, why do you only need 32? And they said, we want to make sure that everybody else has the ability to get some.
They have already received numerous requests from Anderson and surrounding areas for the face shields. They are currently working to fill those orders and plan to keep making the face shields for as long as they are needed.
We really just want to get back to doing live shows again.
The entertainment industry is being hit hard right now, and many venues don't expect to open their doors again until at least late summer. Troy Washington is working for you to explain how owners are working together to get through this tough time.
You know, as a fan, myself, you know, we created these rooms because we love live music, and I know that all the owners in our alliance, you know, it's a business, but it's also a labor of love, and we really just want to get back to doing live shows again. I think the fans want that too. You know, these streaming programs are not really what we do for a living. We want the real thing, just like everybody else.
For now, Josh Baker and the rest of the Indiana Venue Alliance will have to substitute live music for the virtual experience.
We gather for a living. That's what we do, and when we're mandated with all these restrictions. We were the first ones to close, and we're going to be the last to open. When you see all these phases rolling out, we're in the very last one, no doubt about it.
It's a 2-hour presentation featuring national, local, and regional talent, along with appearances from local leaders like Mayor Hogsett.
Tonight's program is a special tribute to 3 artists that we lost recently, great songwriters, and we're basically raising awareness for the critical issues facing all the independent music venues in Indiana.
The pandemic has put a damper on partying or even just stepping out to listen to music. Not to mention the concert industry, which is on pause for now and may not return until late summer with restrictions.
Venue Alliance, we've got about 30 members now all across the state of Indiana, ranging from the Melody Inn to the Jazz Kitchen to the Vogue, Clyde Theater in Fort Wayne, Red Bicycle in Madison, here's Square Cat Vinyl, the Hi-Fi, all of these independent rooms. When all this was happening, we all kind of saw a need to be working together and collaborating on our efforts as we're trying to fight through this.
Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. And right now on the RTV6 News app, we have details on how you can help these venues as they continue to be impacted during the pandemic. As the state continues to reopen, other businesses that rely on restaurants and bars are trying to find a way to start working again while practicing social distancing. Indiana Trivia has been doing live trivia nights 5 days a week while promoting carryout for local businesses and allowing players to play trivia for free. This Friday, anyone who makes a purchase at a Carmel restaurant and shows a copy of their receipt is eligible to play and win a cash prize. They are also now transitioning to start trivia nights at bars and restaurants again the first week of June. But the games in person will have some changes involved for everyone's safety.
We are doing everything where the players won't actually have to leave their table. And because they're not leaving their table and because our host won't actually be walking around throughout, we're not technically considered live entertainment, which has in turn helped the venues pull the trigger and say, let's get some form of entertainment back in the door, which has been great for us to bring our hosts back to work, basically.
Because of social distancing guidelines, they are reinventing their games. They will get rid of answer slips and pencils, and everyone will now use their phone. They are working to find a way to prevent cheating while playing the games. If everything goes as planned, their Trivia League playoffs will continue in July. Businesses that were forced to shut down for weeks during the pandemic are trying to bounce back and figure out how to safely reopen. Tonight, we are following back up with the owner of a game store in Noblesville we first featured for our We're Open Indie series. It's now back open, and the staff is navigating through all of the challenges coming their way.
This is intended to be kind of, we call it the look but don't touch concept, where you can point out something that you like, and then we'll walkie-talkie downstairs and bring it up for you.
When you walk into Moonshot Games in Noblesville, the layout of the store looks much different. It's an effort to keep everyone safe during the pandemic.
We had seating in our space here for about 70 people. And so we literally would just be busy with folks coming in and playing games.
But now the store is set up like a showroom with the best games in front.
This is our back room. We've spaced out the tables for social distancing.
And in the back, this is where owner Jason Manship hopes to eventually welcome players back inside.
I'm close enough. I can see what's going on over there. I can read his cards. He can read my cards.
He plans to set up tables like this with plexiglass so people can safely play. Underneath the store, he's now leased out the basement and created a warehouse where he stores thousands of games.
We get orders all day from California, New York, Arizona, all over the place.
Before getting shut down, Moonshot Games did not have a website, but the pandemic forced them to get creative, building an online presence and expanding delivery to the greater Indianapolis area.
And then, of course, the people that are downtown in, Indianapolis, the Indianapolis area, we're up in Noblesville. So a lot of those folks weren't making the trip all the way up here because there are game stores in that area. But opening delivery to those folks and being able to drive to them and drop bags of games or puzzles on their doorstep has been fantastic.
As customers visit the store to purchase games, they are starting to notice the changes and appreciate the extra effort to keep them safe.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's so easy to browse and look around, and I feel very safe here with the precautions they've taken.
While the pandemic has created both challenging and rewarding situations for the staff at Moonshot Games, the store manager says he's proud to see everyone rise up to the occasion. But he's looking forward to the day when the store is once again filled with players.
Just to see the camaraderie, the competitiveness between players, those moments of, hey, I think I've got you, and then a card comes out and changes the complexity of the game, and everybody throws their hands up and gets all excited. It's going to be really really fun to have those moments happening in the store again. So can't wait to get folks back in here.
And the owner of Moonshot Games says he started the store to empower people to have fun as a family and encourage them to gather around the dinner table. And that is why he thinks he's having so much success right now during the pandemic, with families spending a lot more time at home. Coming up next, a national snapshot of the coronavirus pandemic. More states start to reopen, even as the death toll rises in some of those states. Kyle.
Rain chances are going to stick around into our Monday. I'll let you know how long you're going to need to keep that umbrella handy. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
Visit Regions.com/tools.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Former IU wide receiver Cody Latimer is facing several charges following his arrest Saturday morning in a Denver suburb. Deputies arrested Latimer after responding to a report of shots fired inside an apartment in Inglewood, Colorado. Deputies said they found 3 people in the apartment, one with minor injuries unrelated to a gunshot. Latimer faces second-degree assault and reckless endangerment charges. Latimer played for the Hoosiers for 3 seasons before the Denver Broncos drafted him in the second round of the 2013 NFL Draft. He played 4 seasons with the Broncos and the past 2 with the New York Giants before signing with Washington in April. The firing of State Department Inspector General Steve Linick is now under investigation by Democrats. President Trump said he no longer had confidence in Linick. According to the White House, the move was recommended by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. But Democrats say Pompeo himself was being investigated by the Inspector General, who was looking into whether he had misused a political appointee to perform personal tasks for himself and his wife.
The president has the right to fire any federal employee, but the fact is, if it looks like it's in retaliation for something that the IG, the Inspector General, is doing, that could be unlawful.
Linick was an Obama-era appointee and the latest in a string of independent oversight officials removed recently. On April 3rd, the Inspector General for the intelligence community, who alerted Congress to the whistleblower complaint that triggered the impeachment investigation, was dismissed. A few days later, the acting IG for the Department of Defense demoted after a decade of working under both Republican and Democratic administrations. The president then moved to replace Christy Grimm, a top official at the Department of Health and Human Services, after she pointed out shortages and testing delays at hospitals amid the coronavirus pandemic. 49 states have started to ease restrictions as they look to get their economies up and running again. Several states are seeing an increase in the number of cases, and many are working to increase testing. Here's ABC's Chuck Severston with the details.
Thousands of Americans flooding to the nation's beaches and parks as states begin to reopen.
We're never going to have the old normal. We'll have a new normal.
With many ignoring social distancing, the mayor of New York vowing to crack down.
If we have to shut places down, we will.
Some bars and restaurants seeing large crowds as restrictions are eased, but they have been hard hit by the pandemic. Restaurant owners now telling researchers if this crisis lasts 6 months, they have about a 15% chance of survival. 8 states now seeing a rise in cases, according to a New York Times analysis, including Texas, which is looking to lift even more restrictions. But the state had more than 700 new cases reported near Amarillo on Saturday, many stemming from meatpacking plants. Texas now testing more than 693,000 people out of a population of nearly 29 million. On Monday, Massachusetts will become the 49th state to start reopening, where officials are now working to boost testing to 45,000 a day by the end of July. And in New York, where they've conducted more than 1.4 million tests, Governor Cuomo demonstrating how simple the process is.
That is the whole test. I'm not in pain. I'm not in discomfort.
Tomorrow, Florida will reopen gyms, expand restaurant capacity, and allow vacation rentals, but not everyone can visit.
If you tell me you're going to rent them out to people from New York City, I'm probably not going to approve that.
Businesses adapting to the new normal, which for many involves safety barriers and social distancing. At Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, NASCAR returning. However, there were no spectators in the stands. Chuck Severson, ABC News, New York.
Chuck, thank you. With face coverings becoming the new normal, it's making it difficult for the hard of hearing to understand people. Not only do masks muffle sound, but they prevent people from reading lips. So a couple in Indiana created special see-through ones for those with hearing loss. Dr. Gil Caseworm of South Bend helped create the communicator masks after seeing the challenges faced by her husband, David, who's been hearing impaired for 30 years. The Caseworms are now working with a manufacturer in California to make the masks. They're also working to get them into grocery stores.
We've worked now with some grocery stores to have one aisle that's specifically designated for people with hearing loss, and they're wearing the communicator mask. So now people with hearing loss can see someone's lips.
Mr. Caseworm says beyond the communicator masks, there's something simple you can do to help people like him during the pandemic. Speak a little louder and speak directly to the person. The Caseworms are also selling the masks online at thehearingspot.com. Kyle.
Much of our Sunday was dry, just a couple of sprinkles here and there, but we have some more widespread rain and rumbles of thunder out there tonight. And that thunderstorm in progress over Indianapolis. Our temperature, though, it is still warm. We're at 64 degrees right now. You can see where the thunderstorms haven't quite made it in. Around Muncie, still 73, 70 in Columbus, but a rain-cooled 60 degrees right now in the Crawfordsville area. And here you can see where that rain is. It's all lifting toward the northeast, so once the rain starts for you, it is going to last quite a little while here, and you can see where we've got some of that lightning being picked up between Bedford and Nashville, some of the heavier rain now again across portions of Johnson County, and that lasts as we get into Marion County as well. Fairly moderate rainfall extending through Noblesville, Lebanon, and even as we work our way to the north around Kokomo, you've got some moderate rain. That's going to be moving into Marion, Indiana. So everyone dealing with the rain tonight. Notice as we get to 8 o'clock in the morning, western half of the state fairly dry, but still around Indianapolis and areas to the east dealing with some of those showers. At that point, shouldn't really have many thunderstorms left over. Our temperature down to just 61, so we won't move too much tonight, and we won't move too much the first half of tomorrow either, with that rain continuing. Temperatures in the lower 60s for us. We'll get into the upper 60s to around 70 tomorrow afternoon as we start to dry out a little bit and move those rain showers into the eastern portion of the state. Here's a look at TrueCast 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can see mainly the rain is off to the east at that point and will continue into the afternoon. So areas like Lafayette, Bloomington may not see much in the way of rain, but then we actually start to see it coming back from the south and east as we go into Tuesday morning. And that rain could be a little bit on the heavy side as we go through the day into the afternoon. Just some scattered showers left over for us. But between now and the time we get through Tuesday, some areas could see another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Maybe some areas that see a little bit more than that. So northern and eastern Indiana, we do have that flash flood watch that's in effect. 69 degrees will be the high temperature in Indy tomorrow. 68 for you in Columbus, and around 70 degrees with those lower rain chances in the Lafayette area. And temperatures are going to stay a little cooler here as we start off the week with those areas of rain around. 7-day planning forecast shows that things will start to dry out, just not expecting a lot in the way of sunshine this week. Mostly cloudy skies will do it. And then as we get into next weekend, the sunshine will start to return on Saturday. That'll get us back into the lower 80s and even the middle 80s. As we get into Sunday, that might help to spark a couple of showers or thunderstorms just ahead of Memorial Day. You're watching RTV6 News at 11. We'll be right back.
For just $1, only at Hardee's.
Work continues for fall sports to return, and when it does, IU will be ready. The school's volleyball team believes it has a new attitude, a group definitely moving forward. Sports Director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
Things might be shut down right now, even inside IU's new volleyball facility, Wilkinson Hall. That doesn't mean there still isn't some good news.
It's cool when there's some good news, and certainly the recruiting class that has come out is some pretty good news for us.
When things resume on campus, Steve Eyre will be coaching a freshman class ranked 15th in the nation, with some choosing the Hoosiers over others in the Big Ten.
I think a lot of kids want to play in the Big Ten. To say they play in the Big Ten or to wear the jersey and say they're part of it, I think it's a different kind of kid who wants to come here and kick someone's ass.
Aird isn't apologizing to anyone. Since taking the job in Bloomington 2 years ago, attendance has doubled inside their new 3,000-seat facility, and awareness is up from when he'd come to Indy for club recruiting visits.
Curious, when you came up to Indy,
What were the sweatshirts the kids were wearing?
Yeah, not IU. Let's leave it there. No, and it's funny because I had recruited, when I was at Penn State, we recruited these clubs heavily. When I took the job in Maryland, we knew that these kids in the Midwest, within 3 hours of campus is some of the best volleyball in the country.
We're going into the locker room.
The facility's hell.
Say hi.
We got a tour just last fall.
This is where we basically get ready for our games.
When the team can reconvene, though, will be anyone's guess.
Certainly there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to what the fall may look like. How do you keep kids heading in the right direction or keep the optimism?
Number one, recruit great people. I mean, these kids, Dave, they are so positive. They're working so hard. They did so well in school. We have this mantra, kind of anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I told them, listen, if they tell us in a week we're playing in a parking lot at 10 p.m., it's game on.
It might be the off season, but the wins are still coming for IU volleyball.
You know how hard I always talk about the Big Ten being a monster. It is. There's schools in the Big Ten who have done this for 30 or 40 years in a row. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, but you got to start somewhere. So pretty excited about where we're starting and where we're at.
And ultimately, where they're going. Day first, RTV6 Sports.
Can rest assured.
Tonight, a small town in Indiana is celebrating their high school seniors in a big way, and it is not every day you drive down Main Street in Lapel and get to see your picture hanging from a banner. On Saturday, volunteers spent the day hanging up these banners for the Lapel High School class of 2020. It all started from a simple Facebook post after seeing this done in another community. In just an hour and 20 minutes, the community raised $1,400 to hang the banners in Lapel. We talked to the woman who organized the entire fundraiser, who also has a senior at the school.
I had people texting me like, hey, we see that you've raised enough money. I still really want to give to this. And I had to tell people, like, we've got it. Like, it was amazing how quickly people came through. People that have graduated from Lapel, have kids that go to Lapel, teachers, anyone you can think of in the community. I mean, they just chipped right in and did it so quickly.
The banners will stay up at least through May 31st. On that day, each senior will get to graduate one by one in the auditorium. And then at 5 o'clock, there's a parade down Main Street where the entire community will be there to celebrate. Today was supposed to be the day seniors at Valparaiso walked across the commencement stage. ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z was asked to be the keynote speaker, but the pandemic canceled the ceremony, and Ginger posted this message for the class of 2020 graduating from her alma mater.
I just wanted to take this moment to say I am so disappointed that I'm not going to be with you for your commencement. I was supposed to be the speaker, the keynote, and it was a huge honor for me, but I know such a bigger day for you, truly, in your lives. What I can tell you is that the clouds don't last forever. That's what I learned at Valparaiso with my scientific degree in meteorology. It's not how the atmosphere works, and what I've learned since is it's not how life works. Things do get better.
She says this is a difficult time and a transitional time, and encourages students to do their absolute best to find the sunshine. Kyle.
We're going to do our best, but we got plenty of rain and some storms on radar. Tonight, though, I don't anticipate any additional severe weather. As we look at the 7-day forecast, those temperatures going to stay a little cool for the next few days with those clouds and showers.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good Morning Indiana starts at 4:30. Have a great night.